West has not really reacted quickly enough and coordinatedly enough to the Belt and Road Initiative, and they've waited too long on this. I mean, we see 10 years of it, and we only just in the last 2 or 3 years see some kind of reaction from the West where they've realized that what's really serious is not just, they were not taking it seriously. What's serious is not just the transport infrastructure development, but also the influence, that China has in the global South, and the clear attempt that China has to build an alternative order which excludes the West, right? So what the West, I think, belatedly has woken up to, and the Biden administration has made some moves on this, the European Union have made some moves on this, is the need to offer something to the global South to compete with China, which they have not so far offered. Now, the problem is, I think, that we still see a lack of coordination. I mean, we need to see more coordination between the US and Europe. We need to see more coordination coming from the EU. There's this tendency, of course, just to manage problems that come up. So the EU tends to be very preoccupied with migration issues or economic issues or things like this, obviously, that are in its neighborhood. And this means that things that are further away, global South, things are further away like Africa or the Asia Pacific or Indo-Pacific or South America tend to go down the agenda, right? And they need to bring them higher up the agenda because it's really crucial to start building some influence there rather than just letting there be a gap for China. And the same with the US. The US obviously is also preoccupied with its own economy, its own infrastructure, right? It can't even, as I describe in my book, America has not even been very good at dealing with its own infrastructure issues in terms of needing new railways and roads and so on. So for the US to compete with China in terms of infrastructure is demanding, right? If it can't even manage its own infrastructure, then how does it manage to compete with China on that issue? So I think, in short, what we need is more coordination, more cooperation from the West. And also, I think importantly, I'd also say to treat the global South with greater respect, right? I mean, I think global South countries want to be seen, instead of being seen as former colonies that are poor, that are in need of aid, that are in need of just getting assistance, they want to be seen as partners. They want to be respected in their own right. They want to have input into the cooperation process rather than just being told what to do. So I think the West needs to draw some conclusions from what China's done. China's tried to treat, I mean, there's debate about this, but China tries to treat global South countries as partners with respect, asking them what they want. I mean, whether we agree with this or not, the way it's done, some countries are buying into it. And the problem with the West is that it's not being seen as on the same level in terms of respecting the needs, asking, doing needs analysis in consultation with partner countries. So more respect is needed for the global South countries and more coordination and cooperation.